Live.
Okay.
We will wait for some folks to join us.
All right.
And remember, there's that delay with the comments.
Okay.
So, and
Yep.
as questions come in, we don't always see them right away. And
Right.
after a certain number of comments, they go off the screen. So
Okay. Okay.
I don't never want guests to feel that we're ignoring their comments. We just haven't seen them, and then they slipped off into cyberspace.
Right.
Mm.
Oh, which reminds me, Laura, did you get the coupon code I sent out for the
Yes,
healthy
I did.
dog?
I did. Thank
Perfect.
you. Yes, and hello everybody. Janet, hello.
Hi,
Hey,
Janet.
Beautiful northern New York.
Yep. Yeah, where did you have snow? Because it feels like it's ready to snow here.
Ew.
Mm.
Yeah.
We had a little snow yesterday, but Michigan.
Oh, that would be cold. Michigan,
Yeah,
I think they're
you'll
colder
be
than
cold.
Illinois a little bit.
A friend of mine is in Wisconsin and they're freezing to death.
Oh,
And it's like, and last week we were all warm.
Yeah.
yeah.
Crazy.
It was a tease.
People are
Yeah.
jumping on like fire here.
Oh, wow.
That's good. That's definitely good.
That's good.
So
Yeah.
welcome everyone. Welcome to another Facebook Live in support of the Healthy Dog Expo, where you need to get your tickets soon before they are not available. I also received a message from the hotel. If you don't have your hotel rooms, grab them up now because it is a college graduation weekend in Albany, and people are starting to pick up their hotel rooms.
Yeah. Oh,
Go to healthydogworkshop.com. The contact info for the hotel is there, and the ticket page, of course, is there. And I see one of my admins is sending me a message, so bear with me while I check in with the team. Oh, not now.
There is a question received from Lorraine.
Lorraine, hi, Lorraine. Hello,
Yes.
how are you?
She wants to know for MCT oil that she has will help with hot spots. Yes,
Oh.
without a doubt.
Well, ladies, jump on it. This is Carissa and Carmina from CoCoTherapy.
Hi. Hi,
Well,
everyone.
check into the team. You run the live.
Yeah.
Oh,
Thanks for joining us.
Yeah.
Lorraine, yes, the MCT oil will definitely help with hot spots. It's anti-inflammatory, so it helps with that. It's antibacterial, so it'll help soothe it. So yeah, give it a go.
Yeah. I assume applying it on the hot spots, right?
Yes, using it topically.
Yes,
Yeah.
topically. Yeah.
Yeah. And your oils, I just have to say, I've gotten the shipment from you
Mhm.
of treats, and I've got other goodies and MCT oil and coconut oil, and I'm blown away by how awesome it smells.
Mm.
Because I bought coconut oil other places. I probably won't in the future. It doesn't smell like much of anything.
Yeah.
And yours just smells fresh and good and coconutty.
Thank
I
you.
love it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Thank
So,
you.
so thank you for joining me today. I'm taking time out of your busy day.
Thanks
Today,
for having us.
oh, my pleasure. Today we were going to talk about some of the science behind coconut oil, coconut products, because certainly you run the gamut with products, from treats to oils to the cocoa chips and everything. So I thought where we'd start is, what are the common myths that you hear about coconut oil? Because I get it on the conventional vet side, where they're like, oh, every owner wants to throw coconut oil on it, whether it's having seizures or its coat is dry or it's itchy. Coconut oil is the answer to everything.
Mhm.
So is it the answer to everything?
Well, I think for us it is almost the answer for everything, and we're speaking from experience. But the reason I think coconut oil is not understood, because generally everybody says it's a saturated fat.
Mhm.
So the whole medical industry and all, they've already labeled saturated fats as bad.
Right.
But what they don't know is there are different kinds of saturated fats depending on the number of carbon atoms there are. And it might be a little bit technical or a little scientific, but it makes a huge difference on the type of saturated fats. And a lot of doctors and some veterinarians don't make a distinction. they will. So I have seen posts that says saturated coconut oil is 92, which it is 92% saturated fat or all saturated fat. So it's bad for you. It'll hurt your heart. It's atherogenic. It'll
It'll cause pancreatitis in
pancreatitis, yeah.
dogs.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
but what they don't understand is the saturated fats. There's two kinds of long chain fats, which is 14 carbon atoms and longer, would be the proteins, the meat, that type of fats.
Butter.
Butter. No,
Butter.
butter is myristic. It's very
Oh,
short.
and
It's a
butter
short
is-
chain.
yeah.
Butter
True,
is short
true,
chain.
true.
Short chain.
Milk.
Milk, but coconut oil is a medium chain fat. So it's 12 carbon atoms and lower. So coconut oil is metabolized by the body very differently from long chain fats.
Mhm.
Long chain fats need help broken down. So if a person or animal eats it, there needs to have some sort of, it's broken down in the intestines, and it needs some sort of help to transport that fat out of the intestines. And it's transported by chylomicrons.
Mhm.
So it brings it out to the systemic blood, to the liver, where it's processed more into either cholesterol or other forms of fats. Coconut oil doesn't need chylomicron transportation.
No, it goes right through.
It
Yeah.
goes right through to the liver, through the portal vein. And
Mhm.
there it's converted to ketones and energy. It does not increase lipids in the blood, nor does it go through the heart or adipose fat
Fat
tissue.
tissue.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that's a huge difference with
That's a huge difference. And when I think of the various fats out there, some are at room temperature oils, some are semi-solid, soft but still formed, and
Mhm.
some, like even until you get it really hot, butter
Yeah.
will stay pretty firm.
Yeah.
A 70-degree room, in the direct of summer, not so much.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
always found it fascinating that some people would leave like butter or coconut oil or whatever out at room temperature. Other people insisted upon refrigerating it.
Yeah. Well,
Does refrigeration affect the shelf life or any qualities of coconut oil?
No, it doesn't.
it does not. Actually, what affects the qualities of any fat in general is light.
And
and
moisture,
oxygen.
water.
Oxygen, moisture, and light. So if you have a fat that's not saturated, meaning that it's liquid at room temperature, those are not saturated and they oxidize easier. So
Mhm.
it would be best to keep it in a cooler place. It doesn't necessarily need to be refrigerated, and also kept in a dark bottle. So
Right.
you'll see olive oil. So that would be light, and obviously oxygen would just make it go rancid a lot faster. And goes with any fat. However, any fat that's solid at room temperature, like coconut oil, for example, even lard, is usually saturated fat. And it's because
stable.
it's more stable, even though it's saturated with hydrogen atoms. That's what makes it more stable. So
Mhm.
when you think of people that use hydrogenated fat, they add hydrogen atoms to fat. That's to make it more stable. And a lot of the food industry uses a lot of hydrogenated oils and fat to make food stable. And that's bad for you.
Oh, yeah.
So that is bad. When they
Yeah.
hydrogenate, sorry, I can never say
Hydrogenate.
that word. When they hydrogenate it chemically by adding hydrogen atoms, that's when it gets dangerous. But when it's naturally hydrogenated, like coconut oil,
Sure.
then it's very stable and it doesn't go rancid that much. You don't
Yeah.
have to refrigerate
Yeah.
it.
In the Philippines, they don't refrigerate their coconut oil
Yeah.
at all. It's on their counter and it's just there.
Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah.
I always cringe when I look at peanut butter these days
Ooh. Yeah.
because you see blended with this oil or partially hydrogenated,
Mm.
this kind of oil
Yeah.
or what have you. And I mean, we're falling into the category of processed and ultra processed foods with these.
Yes.
And
Definitely.
you guys, from talking to you now several times, you seem to be all about keeping the oil pure and simple. And that to me makes sense.
Yeah.
Just common sense.
Yeah.
If I want coconut oil, I want just coconut oil.
Right.
Or
Right.
just, coconut meat or what have you, whatever part we're
Right.
considering.
Right. But I think also a lot of the misconceptions come from large organizations. Like, for example, I think I recently saw that The ASPCA, for example, they mention, the ASPCA advises pet owners not to give coconut oil.
Yeah.
And you know, and they take that as, that's got to be right then. But the funny thing is, the ASPCA also advises not to give animals raw food
Of course.
or undercooked foods. So I mean,
Yeah.
it's just cherry picking what you want to listen to with these large, organizations. So we've seen plenty of people claim that the ASPCA or this organization or the Heart Health Association says that coconut oil is bad for you. So I think a lot of it comes from that as well.
Yeah. And I mean, you spoke earlier about coconut oil causing pancreatitis, which I call BS on.
Definitely.
Typically, pancreatitis, in my experience, is caused by a dog not being used to processing animal fat. And often that animal fat is in a cooked form, which makes it more problematic than raw fat. So I tell people, you want to add some fat calories to your dog's meal. Coconut oil is an excellent choice.
Right. And if you look at ancestral diets from a long time ago, and we all know this, they ate a lot of fat. And if and some will say about a size 25 to 30% fat in their diet. So easily. So animals are really made to process fats. So when there's a tactic out there that says don't feed coconut oil because it's high in saturated fat, that's it's not accurate,
especially with animals, especially with cats and dogs. And the funny thing is, conventional veterinarians that recommend low fat diets for a dog that has some sort of lipid disorder, they would recommend medium chain fatty acids like lauric, caprylic, or capric acid without really putting the connection that it's coconut oil. So most animals that are in a low fat diet are actually told by conventional veterinarians to give some sort of medium chain fat. They don't say it's coconut oil, whether it's whatever product they use. So that's because nobody can survive without fat. You need fat to survive.
No, you need it for the health of many tissues, development, and as a backup energy source.
Right.
Without a doubt.
Right.
I think another misconception that I see that's very confusing to people is coconut oil causes inflammation. So and there's definitely studies of fats causing inflammation. But if you look at the studies closely, it's more of the long chain fats, because when we eat fats, something happens to our body metabolically that fats can kill bacteria, because bacteria have a lipid barrier around them.
Right.
Gram-negative bacteria has lipopolysaccharides or endotoxins around them. So when those bacteria are killed, they release some of those endotoxins in the blood, causing inflammation. Now, the thing about coconut oil is when they kill gram-negative bacteria, it breaks up the LPS, or lipopolysaccharides, and it kills them. So there's fragments of LPS that are released in the blood. So that's when people say, oh my goodness, there's going to be some sort of inflammation. But what they don't understand is these are fragments of dead bacteria that are released in the blood, but it's such a low grade. And it'll elicit a low grade immune response that's not enough to set off like an inflammatory, like high response.
Right.
So that's the same thing. If you look at mother's milk, that's exactly what's happening. Mother's milk is made with lauric acid, capric and caprylic acid. It's rich in medium chain fats. So that's what trains babies and infants to have a stronger immune system.
Interesting. Very interesting.
So it's the same concept. When you take coconut oil, it actually kills the bad bacteria,
Gram-negative.
releases dead LPS. There's a slight immune response that helps get rid of it, and it actually strengthens your immune system. So when they say coconut oil strengthens your immune system, that's the very reason why they do that.
So you see all these like scare tactics online where coconut oil causes metabolic endotoxemia. And
I hadn't come across that one.
Yeah, which is actually taking part of what Carissa just said and blowing it out of proportion, basically. That's basically the premise of that.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna look
That's
at the
crazy.
options.
I mean, I hear people confusing coconut oil with omega-3 fatty acids. That's a common
Oh yeah,
scenario. And it's like, no, they're both fats,
Yeah.
but not interchangeable by any stretch of the imagination.
No. And I think what people don't know is every fat out there in the world is a blend of fatty acids.
Mhm.
So to go back to chemistry, fatty acid is just another fancy word for fat molecules,
Right.
right?
Oh,
So
we got
fat,
everybody here.
yeah, they went barking at the UPS guy. Now they're back.
Oh, good.
It's like, did you bark? She smells like the outside. Okay. Anyway, so fatty acid is just another word for a fat molecule. So there's lots of different kinds of fat molecules. So when you say medium chain fatty acids, you break it down. There's capric, we know, caprylic, lauric acid. Those are all fat molecules. Coconut oil as a whole is made up of different kinds of fatty acids. So they also have oleic acid, which is we know is an omega-9. They have 6% of coconut oil has omega-9, oleic acid. 1.6% has linoleic acid, which is like an omega-6. 1.6%.
that's very small.
It's very, very small. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
it does not have omega-3 in coconut oil. So it has 6, 9, and the other medium chain fats.
Yeah.
So every single fat in the world is a blend of fatty acids. So it just depends. And because coconut oil is predominantly medium chain, they call it a medium chain fat.
Yeah. Yeah. And omega-3s get labeled as omega-3s or omega-3, omega-6s. I just lost my train of thought. But the confusion with, do I have to if I give an omega-3, can I also give coconut oil, or do I need to alternate them, or do one for a bit, then do the other? And in my world, I sometimes will feed both the same day.
Me too.
It doesn't
Yeah.
bother me a bit that I'm
Yeah.
supplementing what I look at as kind of a nutritional fat, and then a supplement fat in the form
Right.
of omega-3s.
Right. I don't think there's any hard, fast rules. I mean,
whatever your dog will tolerate.
exactly. Exactly. I mean, sometimes I'll give both in the same day. Sometimes I'll skip one and do another one. And I mean, yeah, it doesn't have to be a rigid schedule
Not
necessarily.
at all.
Yeah.
No, and I think flexibility and variety is always your friend.
Definitely.
So then I have people, as I'm formulating diets, and I'll sometimes say, let's add some coconut oil just for calories that originate from fat that are gentle on the pancreas and liver.
Right.
They want to know, is my dog going to get fat? And,
Oh,
I mean, I shouldn't say never. I rarely see a dog that's eating a real food diet at being overweight.
I agree with you on that.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I have some friends who have like some Yorkies, and they're chubby little things. And they're like, how do you keep your Yorkie, Shelby, so slim? And she's pretty greedy. And I said, her diet is pretty high in fat.
Yeah.
So I look at their diet because they want me to help them. And it's a kibble-based, high carb diet. So that is definitely going to add.
Oh, adding the carbs. Yeah.
Well, even for humans, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I said, adding coconut oil or MCT oil to their diet will not make them fat, for sure. In fact, we call it a metabolic fat, where it actually increases your metabolism because your liver is creating ketones and your cells are using it for energy. Like Carmina and I, we don't watch our diet. Maybe we should a little bit more. We eat whatever we want, but we take a lot of coconut oil and MCT oil every day.
Yeah.
So, and people say, what's your secret? Whatever. But we don't have a secret.
We eat a lot of fat.
We eat a lot of fat.
Honestly,
Literally, that's our
true.
secret, because we're
Yeah.
cranking.
But-
It's like putting logs to fire.
But you're using plant origin fat, which is a whole different animal.
yeah.
Oh, definitely.
For
from
sure.
animal origin fat.
Yeah. Oh, without it. Raw
Without a
fats.
doubt.
Yeah,
Yeah.
raw fats. We're not eating, fried chicken every day or anything. No.
Yeah.
No.
Well, and once in a while you can. I was having this discussion with someone else that, if you're 90% good on what you're eating and 10% of the time you slip, you're fine.
Oh, yeah.
Same thing with our dogs,
Yeah.
Yeah.
the vast majority of what they get is nutritionally what it should be.
Right. Definitely. Another misconception about coconut oil, or why some people, I mean, I've been seeing a lot of debate about lauric acid, because
Mhm.
coconut oil is predominantly lauric acid. I mean, the main medium chain fats in coconut oil is lauric acid, caprylic, and capric acid, right?
Right.
So lauric acid being the most abundant in coconut oil. So I see a lot of confusion about it, where I've seen articles saying that lauric acid is actually dangerous for you, dangerous for dogs, and that lauric acid is even not a medium chain fat. I've actually seen some articles stating that lauric acid is processed as a long chain fat. You know, it
So it's
causes
bad for
inflammation. It's
you.
bad for you. It's bad for animals, which is that's
Definitely not
definitely
true.
false. Yeah, it's not true. Yeah, there's no debate about it. I mean, all the chemistry databases, PubChem, SpiderChem, ChemSpider,
Or
they all classify lauric acid as a medium chain fat, and there's many studies that show that it is metabolized as a medium chain fat anyway. So, um, it's definitely a fallacy.
Mhm. Yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Martin says Snicker bars.
Yeah, that's great. Sugar is really great for you.
There's hydrogenated fat for you.
Oh
Yeah.
my God, yeah.
Good grief.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Janet says fats always get the bad rap, but carbs are the problem for
Yeah.
many dogs. I saw a 119-pound German Shepherd this morning.
Ooh.
And it was
Oh
a
my
big
goodness.
dog. I'll give him, he's a big dog, but he's a 90-pound Shepherd.
Oh,
Wow.
And he's eating a grocery store level dog food kibble,
Ugh.
which the first ingredient is corn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing that got me, and the woman was pretty firm, she's only feeding 2.5 cups per day. It's like, it's metabolically impossible. But this is the second dog that I've seen it where just the carb load, even at a lower intake level, the dog was way too heavy.
Yeah.
And it's like, once you put that level of carbs in, the body just goes off and starts storing it as fat.
Yeah.
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 Oh, that is, yeah.
This is a great question from Janet, because I have looked, at the supermarket to see what coconut oil they're selling. It's usually by the spices, and it's a little jar, and it's like $15 or something. And I look at it, and it's got refined. Some of them have virgin, some of them have non-virgin. I think if you could go over those just basic terms, I think that would help a lot of people.
Definitely. There's so much confusion when it comes to selling coconut oil, because there's terminology that's not regulated by FDA or any regulation at all. So the terms virgin is very ambiguous. But basically, when it comes to the term virgin in coconut oil, it means unrefined. So if it's virgin, it has not been refined with bleach, hexane, or any chemicals at all. That's what
Bleach?
Yes, bleach.
Oh, they bleach.
Oh yeah, hexane, bleach. Yes, RBD oil is another terminology that people don't know unless you're in the coconut oil industry. RBD stands for refined, bleached, and deodorized. So that's very common and processing coconut oil, which is something we don't do. So yeah, so a lot of coconut oil is refined, bleached, and deodorized. That cannot be virgin coconut oil.
Yeah.
Although
some of them will mix it.
Yeah.
I mean, it always starts with how they make it. It always starts with the coconut. So I would say 95% of coconut is made from dried copra or dried coconuts. So when they get it, they have to dry it and reconstitute it to make the oil. Now that copra is usually bleached or deodorized to make it last longer, or otherwise it'll spoil.
It's just oil. Yeah.
So when they say the coconut is RBD, or you don't smell it as strong, they've probably refined it. Virgin coconut oil cannot have any of those solvents in it. And some of them, so they'll get the dried coconut oil and make it, make coconut oil, the dried coconut, make coconut oil, but it's somehow being processed. So that's why the grocery store ones, there's always some sort of level of refinement depending on what it is. So what happens is their lauric acid levels drop. So the medium chain triglycerides are a little bit lower.
Yeah.
Not bad for cooking. It's still there's some decent oils out there, but you really have to be careful. And you can call them and ask them for a COA, or
Right.
you can. I can't guarantee
Whether
you'll
you
get
get
it
it or not.
because
Yeah.
we tried and
Yeah.
we can't. Some of them
Yeah.
will say, what are you talking about? And some
Yeah.
of those coconut oils in the grocery, if you look at them, it'll say from India, Sri Lanka, and the Philippines. So they blend where they get their coconuts from to
Mhm.
make the oil. And you know that oil has been dried and for storage.
Bleached.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
CoCoTherapy, what makes us so different is we actually process our coconuts from fresh coconuts. It's wet milled. So that when we open it, and I've had videos that I posted on Facebook and they scrape
Yeah.
it out, it is wet. You know, when you scrape out the wet coconut, we make our oils from that. So it will not go 4 hours without us pressing it. It's huge. It's more
Huge
expensive.
difference. Yeah.
Your output on oil is not as much, but it makes a huge difference with quality, taste, and more importantly, the level of medium chain fatty acids in that coconut oil.
Yeah.
Now I noticed on the grocery store shelf, next there'd be several brands or styles, and some looked more like they were liquidy compared to the others that were totally solid. And that's an effect of how it was refined, right?
Yes. Yes.
How
Definitely.
much of
Yeah.
the C14 they took out, and it's more solid.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
Exactly.
Exactly. And then the funny thing is, and I think Diane mentioned this in one of her comments, that a lot of coconut oil packaging uses the word extra virgin.
Yeah.
Like it's extra better, but
Yeah.
it doesn't apply. Extra virgin doesn't apply to coconut oil. It
No,
only
that's
applies
olive
to
oil, right?
that's olive oil, exactly.
Yeah.
Because the term virgin and olive oil means first press. Extra virgin means first press, because you can press olives multiple times
Mhm.
to make olive oil, whereas coconut you can only press it once. So
Or
it's
you should, I'm sure.
yeah,
I'm
well,
sure it's done.
you
Good
should,
point.
and they dehydrate it, so that the term differs depending on the type of oil.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
there's no such thing as extra virgin. Yeah. And then cold pressed, you see that on bottles too. You see cold
yeah.
pressed coconut oil, but quite frankly, most coconut oil is not cold pressed.
No?
No, it's not, because a lot of coconut oil is expeller pressed. So meaning it generates, that's the fastest, most inexpensive way to make coconut
Press,
oil.
yeah.
And that would be akin to like sending it through a grinder or a
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
versus just squeezing it.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it generates a lot of heat, but what they squeeze is actually the dehydrated coconut that's been rehydrated with water. Then they squeeze that, it goes through an expeller. And that's when and they have to apply heat to it as well. So it's not cold pressed at all. Anything or raw, you'll even see on the label raw coconut oil, which unless it's cold pressed and processed below 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 110, it's not. But you never know, right? Unless you actually
then it's like pet food. What are the legal requirements for the label?
Yeah.
And how much,
Exactly.
can you put pictures of, beautiful steaks or shiny
Yeah.
coconuts?
I
when it's
just
really
love
not.
that. Yeah. And pet food where they put chicken, meat,
Or they
raw.
have like the beautiful drumstick and it looks, or they meat with grill marks and it's like,
Oh gosh.
and then they say, oh, it's grilled burger flavor or something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
That's so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Diane's just full of questions today. Don't you love this? The foil pouches that you guys do, that's, because we talked in a previous live about you using glass bottles, and for a while your MCT oil bottles were on back order, right?
Yeah.
So, you have this option where you can order the oil in pouches and then refill your bottles at home.
That's right.
Right.
So what's the best way to warm them?
Well, I put mine in a bowl of like warm water. It's a food grade foil pouch. It's very safe. So don't put it in the microwave, because I don't think you're supposed to put foil in the microwave. It'll spark.
I think you'll blow up.
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
so.
Actually, I do know that back in the day when I worked at a certain veterinary hospital, we had an assistant that wasn't the brightest in terms of life skills. She was a smart girl, but she didn't know how to do laundry. She didn't know how to do anything. Well, she saved half of a hot sub that was wrapped in aluminum foil.
Oh no.
and she put it in the microwave. And we looked over at the microwave, and it was one of those ones with the spinning plate.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So out of the spinning plate, sparks were shooting. And then there was smoke. And then
Oh,
the whole thing just went boom.
yikes.
Yikes.
So no, don't put anything that's like aluminum foil in there.
Yeah, or foil in the
Yeah,
microwave. So
yeah.
I will put it, and you either run it under hot water in the faucet, or I'm just going to put it in a big bowl of as hot water as possible.
A pot. I
A
put mine in
pot.
a pot.
And I just leave it in there for a little bit, and they'll soften it.
Yeah, and then just pour it out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and just
You
pour it
have
out.
to worry about getting it too hot.
No,
No.
it's
You
very
won't do it.
stable, like we said. It will
Yeah,
not.
yeah.
It's
Good.
not hot enough for sure.
I mean, it'll melt above 76 degrees Fahrenheit. So you can have 80 degrees Fahrenheit and it'll
And
melt.
you're fine.
Yeah.
Just don't leave it boiling on the stove.
Yeah. No,
No,
Don't
no.
turn on the stove. Just put it in hot water.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 And Janet wants to show that one. Come on, do it for me. Oh, she sets it outside. I like that.
Oh, that's
Yeah,
a great
yeah,
idea.
yeah.
At my co-op, they sell coconut oil, and it's in this big thing that looks like an overgrown, like, convention coffee pot. But I want to say I've seen it set at something like 76, and then you can just fill your glass jar.
Oh,
And
wow.
For those who missed it, can you explain why the glass is important?
Yeah, because the fatty acids in coconut oil actually leach. I mean, plastic leaches into coconut oil. It breaks it
Or
down.
fats.
Yeah, for fats, it's not just coconut oil. It's a lot of fats, but especially the lauric, caprylic, and capric acid. It actually breaks down plastic.
Well, and I've been told a quick way to evaluate good salmon or fish oil is to pour it in a styrofoam cup, and good oil should melt right through.
Oh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna sacrifice a styrofoam cup, sure.
Yeah, yeah.
But that is,
Wow.
yeah, that was mind-boggling. That was a Rodney thing.
Oh,
Oh,
wow.
interesting. Yeah.
And I know even over time, the plastic it's going to leach into,
Yeah.
even metal like a soda can
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah.
has microporous surfaces.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And if you leave a soda can long enough, the soda will evaporate and you'll have an empty can.
Ooh.
Oh,
I've
I've never
proven that.
tried
Yeah.
that. But I don't drink soda, but
Yeah,
yeah.
but wow.
It takes a year or two, but
Yeah.
I put a soda can in my garage because I wasn't going to drink it.
Uh-huh.
And it just got tucked behind something and I came across it. I'm like, it's empty.
Ew.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
bizarre.
And the top
It
is
just-
not popped. It's wild, isn't it?
That's
Yeah,
crazy.
the whole, where does it go?
Yeah.
Like,
I guess through the sides of the metal bottle
Wow.
and just evaporates.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why I would never buy fat or coconut oil in a big plastic, jug, unless you're going to use it right away. But then again, you don't know how long it's been sitting there since
You
it's
don't
been
know how long it's
processing.
been shipped and everything. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's
So
all questionable.
food grade pouches or glass is the way to go.
yeah.
Exactly. Right.
So what else haven't we covered about coconut oil? We talked about it's not going to trash your gut. It's not going to make your dog fat.
It's not going to
It
cause
won't give you
pancreatitis.
pancreatitis.
No,
What
no,
about
doesn't.
did we talk about fatty liver disease, especially with
No,
cats?
we didn't talk about that. So
yeah.
and even though we're dog focused here,
Yeah.
let's take a minute and talk about using coconut oil for cats. Do they like it?
Oh, they
gosh.
love it. Well,
Yeah.
cats are interesting creatures. Okay.
They are.
We all know that. Well, I have a cat who's crazy cuckoo about coconut oil. They just hear the jar and they come running. And I have another one that's like, meh, they're okay. They'll eat it because I kind of trained her to eat it.
Sure.
You train cats so she's used to it, but it took a while for her to get used to it. But cats can definitely benefit from coconut oil. I had a ragdoll once that was close to 20 pounds when he was healthy. Ragdoll, he's a big boy, not heavy. And towards the end of his life, he got a sort of cancer, and he lost a lot of weight. I
Mhm.
was so worried, as we know, cats who don't want to eat and lose weight quickly can get fatty liver disease,
Right.
or hepatic lipidosis.
And
So
that can be fatal.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I had one eye on him. I was so worried. I'm like, how did I get this cat to eat? The only thing he liked to do was lick coconut oil. So I would let him. So I talked to my cat vet, he's conventional but very open-minded and very
He's very
educated.
educated.
Yeah, about coconut oil and different types of fats. And he said, Carissa, your cat won't get fatty liver disease from eating coconut oil or any types of fats as long as he can digest it. They get fatty liver disease because they're for fat cats, and mainly it's overweight cats. He was not overweight, first of all. If an overweight cat has a lot of fat, adipose fat tissue on their body, they stop eating and lose weight
rapidly.
Their liver gets taxed. Then their liver cannot process the fat in their body that they're trying to burn, and their liver gets fatty. But it's not because
They're consuming
they're
fat.
consuming fat, they're getting fatty liver disease. So that's a huge misconception. And because I was giving him coconut oil, he actually did not get fatty liver disease.
Yeah. Well, he was digesting something.
Yes.
And getting calories so that
Yes.
he didn't have to break down all that adipose.
Actually helped him. Yeah, definitely. It helped him to lick the coconut oil.
Yeah.
So no, they will not get fatty liver disease from coconut oil.
And I think you talked to me about using the coconut chips, and you have a product specifically labeled for hairball prevention for cats.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the cat that we tried it on, the office cat, loved it.
Oh,
Good.
good. Thank goodness.
Yeah.
Phew.
And those have oil and fiber, as we know is outstanding for hairballs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Oh, Janet's keeping us right on task here. So we have to remind people, what are you bringing to the expo, and how will your promotion work?
You want to talk about
that? So we actually, do we pack for the expo yet?
Not
No,
yet.
not yet.
Not yet.
But we sent a big box of things, by the way.
Yes.
You should be getting that.
Yes, I have it.
Oh, good. Good.
It
So
arrives on time.
yeah, we will be bringing all our treats to the expo, maybe a few bottles of oil, but not too much, because if people are hand carrying, they will not
through the airport.
Yeah, they will. TSA will not let you bring that through. So
will they let you bring the foil pouches through?
No, it has to be.
If it's solid,
if it's checked in a suitcase, yes. Anything hand carry.
You're not
getting
getting
the
it.
oil. If it's hard,
I wouldn't risk it. It depends on who happens to be working that day. You know how that works.
And what kind of day they're having.
Exactly. If they're suspicious over the foil pouch, even though if it's a solid, they might be a little bit worried about it. I don't know. Plus, what if it starts to melt? I don't know.
Right.
So
plus, we have a better solution anyway.
Yeah. So what we do is we will have a coupon that will be valid for the month of May, I think. And all you have to do is go order, and you will get 15% off everything,
which covers the shipping.
Which covers shipping. So you go, and it includes, it'll take off 15% your entire order, including things that are already discounted in the store. And we have things that are discounted at 10 and 12%. So it adds to that.
Yeah.
So
and then you don't have to worry about getting it home safely.
Yeah.
But at the show, we are going to bring product, and we're going to have special pricing at the show just for people who actually go to the show.
Yeah.
So and they purchase products there, because they can bring the chips are very. I mean the treats are very light.
Yeah, you can easily
stuff them in their bag.
And they could go in your checked luggage too.
Yeah.
Exactly. So
checked or hand carry, it doesn't matter.
Yeah. So special show pricing for attendees, because they took the pain to go out there, and not pain, but
the travel.
Yes.
So
we all want to buy stuff and
sure, why not?
Yeah, at a show, right?
Yeah,
that's the whole point.
So we're gonna have special show pricing at the show.
Well, and my dogs have so enjoyed the new treats. I think I told you. I think the cocoa milk bones were the biggest hit.
Oh yeah,
and I expected the organ treats to be.
I thought so too. That for your dog.
Not that they don't like them.
Yeah.
But I think it was that the cocoa milk bones smelled so much stronger when I opened the bag.
That's incredible.
I like the pumpkin.
Yeah.
Pumpkin was like they're over the moon.
Oh wow, that's great.
They do smell wonderful though.
They do. They do. And they broke so easily, so I could split them.
Yeah.
Between two dogs if I wanted to. And they're nice and they're small.
Yeah.
So a real home run product from my point.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And of course the organs, we know the organs in there are appropriate organs. They're well sourced.
Yeah.
And they match nicely the way you've put them together.
Right. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, Diane says her dogs are loving them too.
Oh.
Oh yeah. And I want to mention a little bit about our meat treats, what people don't know, and some people have asked. All our meat treats have coconut chips in it. Our coconut chips. And the reason, if you look at the ingredients, it'll have the organ meat and coconut chips.
Or the meat.
And in the product, the meat. And one of the reasons why we did that is we created our meat treats for our dog Camille, who had a protein-losing enteropathy. She had the hardest time digesting proteins and breaking it down and metabolizing it. But we found out that if you give her a meat treat, which is usually a raw meat treat, along with our coconut chips, she did not have a problem at all. She did not have diarrhea. So we made it for her. And again, we do this out of experience and what we know based on
and what we learn from our own dogs.
Yes,
from our own
exactly.
dogs. Yeah.
So we said it helps so much dogs. And then we recently have gotten emails from people saying that this is the only meat treat their dog could eat
without having a fit of diarrhea.
Because they have issues with certain proteins. And I'm pretty sure it's because of the chips.
I think dogs don't get enough healthy fiber, especially kibble-fed dogs. They get junk fiber.
Yes.
And our raw-fed dogs, depending on what vegetables are in there, they're getting some beneficial fibers.
Yeah.
But adding something like coconut that's very neutral as it digests, I think is genius.
Yeah.
And especially when you're going to combine a protein and a fat treat.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the other thing that I liked, and as Janet pointed out, they're the right size for training treats. They also hold up in your pocket. So many things, and that may be part of the cocoa chips. So many things that are marketed as training treats are either too hard, too small, or they just crumble in your pocket.
Oh, wow.
And most dog trainers or a training pouch even.
Right.
We're walking around with this stuff. We need things we can grab at the end of the walk or what have you, or the end of the session.
Right.
Wow. That's great.
So, and Diane likes the macaroons, the lemon macaroons.
Oh yeah, those are really good. And those are raw treats. Those are not baked.
They're not baked.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So the macaroons are all raw coconut, raw oil. And one thing I tell people that because you can press them, they make a great pill pocket.
Oh.
So if you have a little pill, because it works for our dogs, if you have a dog or a little pill and you just break up one of those macaroons and smash it around, the smell of the coconut is so strong, they're just gobbling that thing down.
That's great. Well, and I mean, nothing ramps up my aggravation meter like seeing somebody using the real pill pockets, the commercial. Oh my gosh. One of our influencer veterinarians was tossing him to some dog on video the other day. And I'm like, if you really thought about what was in those, it's like Play-Doh with chemicals and flavoring.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Are they big? I've never seen a pill pocket. I've just heard of them. Aren't they huge or no?
They're pretty good size. And they have like an indentation that you shove the capsule or pill in and then just pinch it around. But they're really the consistency of Play-Doh.
Oh, wow.
And, and they also have some that just come in a jar and with your fingers you scoop out a glob of it.
Oh my gosh.
And yeah.
Oh,
Diane has experience. Diane runs a boarding kennel. So people bring all sorts of stuff in there that she gets to see. Rubber goo with the Apoquel, yeah.
With Apoquel. Oh wow, that's the icing on the cake too.
It's kind of sad. It's sad because some of them don't know any better.
Yeah,
they don't.
Yeah. And they want what's best for the dog. So I completely
they're trying to get their dog to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, I don't fault anybody's motives.
Yeah.
I think our motives are all true.
Yeah.
But this execution is pretty poor.
Yeah.
And when you can do things like a decent quality peanut butter or applesauce or, some ground meat or liverwurst or something.
Right.
So many things you could hide it in.
Yes.
Macaroons.
Yeah.
And they choose this.
Yeah, really.
I think because they don't think they're allowed to feed real food.
That's true.
Yeah.
I
And
think
that pill pocket, what a genius name.
oh, pill pockets, yeah.
Yeah, that's clever
Yeah,
marketing
yeah.
right there.
Yeah.
Right.
It truly is.
Yeah.
And
But it's funny
Janice
when you
says, shameless plug to sell tickets.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get
I,
your
I
tickets soon, people.
I saw the list of all the veterinarians that were speaking. It's very impressive. I'm
Oh yeah,
excited.
well, with the speaker panel now, there were up to 10 different speakers.
Wow.
Yeah.
So,
Amazing.
last year we had 6. So the value is going up there.
Wow. You know what? If for people listening, if you live near New York, or if you can grab a ticket, maybe like last minute inexpensive ticket, or just drive there, I would suggest go, because this is one of the largest live events of this type, an expo event
Yeah.
like this. They don't
Yeah.
have them anymore, and to be able to be in one, and this is
One
a 2-day,
location.
one
place with
location with
all of
vets.
these people.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
are literally
outstanding.
surrounded by people who
Yeah.
want to know the same things
Yeah.
you want to know, who some have the answers, some have the questions.
Yeah,
It's totally different.
yeah, you will
It's like
learn so much.
you'll learn so much. It's like being a football fan and going to the Super Bowl,
Ah,
or a
Yeah.
baseball fan and going to a World Series games. The
Yeah.
energy level is just up here.
yeah.
I love those events. And plus you get to talk to
Diane
these
drives 4
veterinarians.
hours. Wow.
And you get to talk to people like Melissa. Hi, Melissa.
Oh yeah. There
who
you
owns
go.
Four
From-
Legger.
Yeah, with the best shampoos and the
Yeah.
that I trust for my dogs. I
Yeah.
use Four-Legger.
One of my
Yeah.
clients was actually talking about you today, Melissa, taking her dog to the groomer and taking your shampoo with her. So hopefully the
Yeah.
groomer will latch on that she needs to ramp up her products and use yours.
Yeah. And they're organic too. I mean, you
Oh,
will
can't
not
find anything
find
better.
a certified organic shampoo out there. It's almost impossible to find a true one. So you're not putting chemicals on your dog's skin. I mean, I'm always clean inside and outside is so important.
Well, and we live in such a chemical laden world. It's nice to have something that we know is gentle but effective in cleaning that stuff
Yeah.
off our dogs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, it's and we see our friends.
Yeah.
It's truly about the community.
It
as well.
really is.
I'm
Yeah.
what is it? 3 weeks away? Is it about 3 weeks away?
I'm not ready. It's more than that.
Am I scaring you?
Oh, you're scaring me. It's the 20th. So we have 12 more days in April.
Oh,
And
Okay.
so we have a month. We have a month.
okay, a month. So you get plenty of time for people to get tickets.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
And
1 month and two
2
days.
days.
days. Thank you, Janet. I'll take those 2 days.
Yeah. It's gonna fly. It's gonna go by. It's gonna be here before you know it.
So fast. It truly is. So it's going to be just awesome.
Yeah. So
And
exciting.
I can't thank you guys enough for being part of our community and stepping up and sharing all your good stuff with us.
Well, thank you for
And
having
all
us.
of your science. That's one of the things I really appreciate about your company and many of the others that, come to this world with something that's not quite the conventional. And then they whip out their science and say, this is why our approach works.
Right. Right. Right.
Whereas, some of the, I'll say the opposition, even though it really isn't the opposition, they just say it works because we know it does.
You're right.
Mhm.
Right.
Mhm.
I think it's great to have an event like yours, though, because with a pet industry with just thousands of products. I mean, if you were a pet owner, you really would know what to
don't
buy,
know
where
what
to
to
turn
do.
to. It's confusing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And just to hear
Yeah.
from the veterinarians and for the companies themselves talk about, I mean, the transparency is
Yeah, yeah.
unbelievable.
I'm learning from the other vendors. I'm
Oh,
very
yeah.
excited.
Yeah. I mean, my vendors, sponsors, exhibitors, whatever you choose to
Yes.
use,
Yes.
I mean,
Awesome.
they're all handpicked. And
Yeah.
believe me, people get annoyed when I turn them down and I say, I don't think this is a good fit for you.
Right. And
Um,
that's why we trust all the products
Yeah.
that are there. Yeah.
And you're screened and invited.
Yep.
Mhm.
And I'm excited about the new companies I have that just come in,
Yeah.
with a passion for making it. One of the newest ones is JOPE, which
Oh.
stands for Joy of Pets.
Oh.
And they have a new joint support product that is phenomenal in its
Oh.
preliminary testing. And Dr. Taraka, Debbie, who's speaking on physical therapy, she's been using it in her practice, and she's blown away by how well the dogs are
Wow.
responding.
That's
Wow.
exciting.
It is. And it's not just your standard glucosamine type
Right.
product.
Right.
It's totally different.
Right. Right.
And it's loaded with turmeric.
Ah,
Oh,
that's
that's
fantastic.
good.
That
So
sounds
yeah,
like a
see,
great
we're going to be
product.
learning from the other sponsors. So I
Yeah.
cannot wait.
I'm going to be doing some shopping too.
Yeah, you can do that.
Me too.
Yeah.
If we need to, we'll ship your things home.
There you go.
I'll bring a giant suitcase.
There you go. Well, thank you so much, ladies, for hanging out with us and explaining everything.
Thanks
And
for having us.
my pleasure. And I think I will be back on Thursday with the Real Dog Box folks.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing some interesting things.
Oh, okay.
So
That's interesting. Wow.
yeah, this is their first year as well.
Oh, wow. That'll be great to meet everybody because some of these people you see on
Yeah.
Facebook, but I've never met
Yeah,
them or talked to them.
Ruby is fun.
Yeah.
I think you guys will hit it off.
I see Terry. Terry, if you can go to New York, we would love it. You can meet Shelby.
Yes, Terry, come.
Put that plug in there for Terry.
Yeah. She's got one of Shelby's siblings.
Oh, really?
Well, half sisters.
They're half sisters. Yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah. So that'd be exciting. Terry, if you could go. I don't know where she's
Yeah.
from.
Texas.
Oh, Texas. Oh, hey, that's just a jump and a skip
jump.
They
away.
have plates. Guys, hush. All right. I'm gonna go see why my dogs are barking.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye,
Thank
guys.
you.
Thanks for having us. See you in a month.
See you soon.
Okay. Bye. Close it off,
Oh, I
close it
don't know why. It's telling me I now need to log in.